Really quickly, I want to give you a close look at this pocket scrapbooking layout that I did using the Kiwi Club Kit. And a couple things I want to point out is that some of the great things about pocket scrapbooking, adding them in with, of course, your 12 by 12 layouts, is that if you don't have like a lot of pictures or a few pictures, or you're just really not in the mood to design a whole 12 by 12 layout, or you have a lot of pictures, like 20 or 30 or whatever, multiple reasons why pocket scrapbooking would be great. But for this sample, you can see that I just tucked in 4 by 6 pictures and I left them as is, and I just put them in the 4 by 6 pockets. You can also see that I did trim some of them down and kind of create its own layout is really what a pocket's doing, is it's kind of creating a little focal point specifically for that pocket. Now with my other pockets, because I didn't have tons of pictures in this case, I just filled those up. So like here at the top, I used the filler cards that come in the kit, and I just used them as is. I didn't add any extra designs to it or anything, even though that's a lot of fun to do. And then on the other pockets, I basically just scrapbooked them. I used my scraps and I just scrapbooked each one as if it's its own little element, and that can be really fun to do. So for example, here on this one, I used the tiny tags, which make really fun gravestones, and I also used the bat a la carte, which is one of my favorites, and you can see that just really adds a cute little element to the overall feel. I also wanted to point out tearing. Tearing's an old trick. We all know how to do it, but from time to time it's nice to remember, oh yeah, I should tear. And I feel like Halloween is one of those themes that you can absolutely tear and bend back. So for example, like the paper's double-sided, so if you tear down and then bend that paper back, you can see the other color popping through. Okay, so if you are a card maker as well, I wanted to point out that as I was making this, I was thinking of the pockets and how each one of them could be a card of its own. So really, so for example, like this, rest in peace, you could do, instead of rest in peace, you could stamp thank you on that gravestone. So that could be a really fun card, just taking that design and using it on a card instead. And even down here with the ghost, that could be fun. You could stamp a hi there or how are you doing on the ghost, and that's just a sheet of paper and the ghost is tucked right behind it on a 4 by 6. So again, easy enough to adapt that to a card. Also, I wanted to point out the enchanted witch hat or hat, wizard hat, whatever you want to call it. But a fun trick, just like ripping, is to crumple your paper. So after you trace and cut it out, wad it up in your hands, crumble it, and then stretch it back out. Fun little texture things like that that you can add to your page, and you don't need any special tools to do that. And one other thing I want to point out is that if you want to kind of add a soft touch, doilies can be a lot of fun to pull in. So if you have a stash of those, just remember to kind of pull those in. They just add an extra soft touch and kind of break up the busyness sometimes depending on what you're working on. So those are a couple tips. I hope that this inspires you, and we hope that you enjoy the Kiwi Club Kit for October.